Hey everybody, welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch, where we have returned for They Came from the Cyclops' Cave, Warriors of Legend, Episode 6. Apologize for missing out last session. Some things came up I was unable to attend, but now we are here to delve back into the tale. What may be the we're certainly in the final act of this arc. But before we get into it, a couple things I want to make sure that I bring to your attention. First off, of course, as you all know, if you've been watching the channel, we have the Branch Riders Kickstarter currently live from our friends over at the Bodana Group. They are about 7 days, I think, from wrapping up now, and just over 200% of their base goal. They're unlocking stretch goals left and right, so get over there, check it out, get yourself involved if you've not yet done so. It's a really cool game. It involves heroism, traveling the multiverse, and therapeutic use for trained professionals. It's wonderful. It's developed by the Madonna Group, who specialize in the space where therapy and tabletop RPGs sort of overlap and coexist, and that's where they do a lot of their work. So it's very cool to see a system coming out from them, which is totally fun, like on its own to play, but also in a therapeutic environment can be quite useful. There's a couple of actual plays over at our YouTube if you want to check out and see how it runs. And thank you so much, Andrew, for the sub. Greatly appreciate it and love to see you here. Speaking of Kickstarters, normally I would not self-chill on this platform, but since the Onyx Path were super kind and put out a notice about it in their newsletter this week, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a Kickstarter I have going for my company, Aegis Studios. We are currently running a Kickstarter for Bizarre Kingdoms. Bizarre Kingdoms is an expansion for Odyssey and Overlord 2nd Edition. It uses the Savage Worlds system. And Bizarre Kingdoms brings in 4 new nations. Each nation has new system or story widgets that you can apply. So there are new playable ancestries, new magic items, new crafting, all sorts of support material that can be used. And while it is designed for use with the Odyssey and Overlord setting, it's compatible with Suede and Suede Fantasy. So any Savage Worlds setting that you want to use it with, it'll work just fine in. So we've got about 13 days left on that Kickstarter. If you would be so kind as to pop over there, consider throwing a few bucks our way, or even just spread the link, share the love. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I think that pays the bills for this week. So let's go ahead and meet our stars. First up, we have Millie. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Sure. I'm Millie and/or Bunny Hearted. She and her or they and them are cool with me. I'm a trans 90s anime bunny girl villain VTuber, which is a hell of a mouthful to say all the time, but you gotta find your niche, right? I'm playing Belladonna Blackwood, the daughter of a previous big bad who's maybe back to be big and bad for like, misery reasons. And I'm kind of glad not to be the rising evil this time currently at the present moment. We'll see what the future holds.
I think
I'm really glad to be back in this game too.
we're glad to have you back. I think Belladonna Blackwood, the daughter of the big bad, is more of a mouthful, perhaps.
Is it? Maybe I just like having long descriptions.
Long alliterative descriptions, which
Could be.
are close to my heart, and
I should
assign.
disclose that I've mangled myself minutes before arriving here. So if I'm a little distracted, especially at first, it's because I'm a doofus. We're good.
It's because they're bleeding out. It's really what it.
Exactly. No, I patched it. I'm no longer bleeding. I can tell the whole story, but it's going to be a mouthful.
Well, in the event that you suddenly feel woozy or otherwise need medical attention,
Okay.
safety first, of course.
Yeah,
As
of
amusing
course.
as it might be to see
I'm
you just suddenly
fine.
go off screen.
I just wanted to put like polysporin and stuff on it and make sure that I hadn't like broken anything. I had a whole dramatic tumble. It's great.
Well, I'm glad you survived and have been able
Andrew's
to
calling me up with so much
return.
accuracy in the chat, even on other streams that are not my own. There's some kind of kerfuffle every time. That's right.
You,
I'm real good at being alive.
you bring it with you. You bring the party along
Uh-huh.
every time, everywhere you go. And speaking of bringing
Speaking
the
of
party,
parties,
CJ, please
Hi,
tell us all your pertinence.
hi everyone. I'm CJ Starry. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm happy to be here. During my day, I work with Roanoke and Deckard, but I don't have anything to show today because we've just wrapped up a Kickstarter. However, you can still check it out. It's called Hollows. So if you go to RRDgames forward slash rdgames.com/hollows, you'll still get to check everything out. And when the pre-orders go up, you can always pre-order. So I will take this time to say go support all the other stuff we talked about today. And thank you for having me here. This is one of my favorite games. I love this setting. I love playing with you both, and MK when MK is around. And I'm just excited to be here, which I already said once, but I'll say it again. I was telling everybody before we turned on, I haven't had a brain for 2 weeks, but luckily I'm playing a moron. So let's go.
Well, we're pleased and thrilled to have you here. Also, I do want to just take a quick moment to note I didn't discover until about like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that Chant was working for the same company as you.
Oh yeah, we're buds. Love Chant.
Chant is one of my favorite. I say this about people, and I think they think that I'm like being cute when I say it. No, I don't say this unless I mean it. Chant is one of my favorite carbon-based life forms. Um, like,
Yeah. We've been working closely together on Hollows. Chant is one of the coolest humans. Love him. And yeah, we've said similar things about you behind your back.
Aw, that's very sweet. Very sweet. Next time, tape it and send it to me. I have a very, very fragile ego. Speaking of fragile egos, I'm your storyteller, story guide, Travis. My pronouns are he and they, and when I'm not running games, I'm writing them. But today I'm running a game, and we should get to it. Before we dive in, it has been a little while. So I want to make sure that we cover all of our experience expenditures, tweaks, make sure that everything is where you want it to be on your character sheets, and then we will dive into the recap of where we had parked. So do any of you have any aspirations you need to change or add, any experience points you need to spend, so on and so forth?
Yes.
yes, also.
All right. Let's start it off with the easy thing, I guess, would be, right? Aspirations. Is that the easy thing, or is expenditures easier for you?
I think aspirations is a good spot to start, at least on my end.
Okay.
Appreciate the
Bunny,
finger on
your
the
turn.
nose. Just immediate cross-culture connection.
I am right now making sure I have the right version of my character sheet up because I looked at my aspirations and went, I thought I fixed that. So I'm gonna pass it to Bunny for a minute.
Sure.
Sounds good.
So what would you want for Bella's short-term aspirations?
So I guess looking at the ones that I have right now, one of the initial short-term aspirations was to like ingratiate herself to the group, and I have A-list marked down with a check mark, but I don't have one for Hilda. I feel like because Hilda's sort of down and out, that might be an aspiration worth replacing.
Look at me. I am the group now.
Yeah, exactly. You are the group now. My other short-term aspiration is to confess her feelings, which I think should stay there. And then the long-term aspiration is still to like resolve her internal conflict and prove to herself that she's enough. And I think that works pretty well as well. So I think I just need one short-term one.
I do have the
we're
correct
scooting
one.
our way towards the giant spooky skull castle for spooky skulls and the castle of skulls that are spooky for skulls.
Yes. So just the briefest of recaps, and I will get into a much more colorful explanation of this later. But you had just escaped the blind Cyclops.
Right, because we were taking the ley line, right?
Right, you were taking the ley line, and then Bella, in her infinite wisdom, decided to convince the Cyclops that she was Mother Blightwood, and then realized what a horrible mistake that was when the Cyclops vowed to kill you and tried to attack. But you managed to scoot up the ley line and get away from them. So you were at the base of the Serpentine Mountain. The top is the Skull Castle. You need to work your way up there. So if you wanted to take like a short-term aspiration of literally reach the castle,
I mean,
that would be fine.
it's not quite on brand. Just got to do a dramatic pose at the summit.
There you go. Yeah, I've cleared a short term, but my long term was show Alita I'm a hero, which I think we decided I did.
Yes, I believe.
I think she
Yeah.
hated you for it, but yeah,
Oh,
totally.
she super fucking hated me. But sorry, I forgot if I could say the F word.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
on
you
history.
absolutely can. Yeah.
Okay. I've gotten to this point now where I'm like, oh no, I have to keep good track of ratings.
I want to quote a very silly person in my community who I will not name, but I cannot believe CJ said fucker bugger. Carry on.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of experience because I've just been coasting. I've just been like, this has been fun. All right, I'll deal with that someday.
Mhm. I think we also got a whole bunch the last couple of sessions.
Yes.
Yeah,
I definitely spent some XP, but I have 18 marks down right now that I still have, and I have a to-do for what to spend it on.
Oh, excellent. What were you looking?
Past me's got my freaking bag, apparently.
What were we looking at spending those points on?
So I wrote down, take another dot and heart turner, get stuff. And I have no memory of what that means. I know heart turner is a path.
Sure, yes.
I don't know what happens when you buy a second dot in a path. I know it costs 10 XP. I looked that part up. But I don't remember what happens when you buy a second dot.
So when you increase your path, I'm just going to double check this in the book to make sure I'm not talking out of my tailpipe. But I do believe the benefit of advancing a path is that you get everything that you get when you get the path in the first place.
Okay.
So what that translates to is, just give me a moment and I will find it here. You know what? Let's pretend like we live in the future and I will look it up on here.
Oh.
And hello there, Sand Gremlin.
Hey.
Yep, easy way.
Economy.
So
No, that's not what I want to do.
Because I think that's where I got the it's the power of friendship, is it?
yeah, basically what you get is you're getting a trope. You're getting 3 dots in your skills, I do believe.
Okay.
And then you're getting I think you also get a trademark.
That's really powerful, but I guess it is 10 XP, so that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Because I guess you get your example connections, your suggested skills, your example trademarks. So yeah, okay, that does make sense. So I could throw a dot in those, I guess, into empathy, integrity, mysticism, or persuasion.
Yep. Yeah. So when you're at path
second
rating,
dot of empathy, like a fancy person.
yep. When you're at path rating, you get 2. So you get the 3 more dots in skills. You get 1 more trademark that you can pull from from your archetype path. You can also improve a contact or add a new contact, and pick a trope from your archetype path.
That sounds rad.
Or from whatever path you're raising, I should say.
I'm having a look at
So
mine
I'm going
right
to take
now.
some more mysticism, persuasion, and empathy. And I should look at tropes.
And in the meantime,
I feel like in my mind, tropes are attached to the specific quests, but it doesn't look like they are in the character book. Is that right?
Correct. No, your tropes are attached to your path. So you're raising, which path are you raising?
Heart turner.
Oh, which is your quest type, right? So your tropes all come from the archetype path.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Sorry for the confusion there.
Trademarks. It's trademarks. There we go.
It's
Yes.
trademarks that come from the specific path, and again, those you can have some flexibility with. So while you're digging for those, Aylis, did we sort out what you wanted to do for your new shorts and longs?
I've got a new short for sure. I want to use Hilda's sword properly.
Excellent.
I don't have anything for long. I think
Would long?
because I feel like
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say like I don't want it to be like the thing that ends everything, you know? Like
Well, and why
help
not?
mother like would maybe help yeah, something like that. It's gonna be a resolution thing, but I have not worded them yet. No words.
Sure. Like, are you thinking like help Mother Blightwood be redeemed,
Yeah.
or are you thinking like stop Mother Blightwood from unleashing the empty?
I think it's more like I think it's just gonna be stop the empty.
All right.
Because I think that's probably a better goal to set because I know that obviously Aylis will try to do it in the most right and just way possible. But if it doesn't happen, I still want her to achieve something. So I think
that's
stop the empty is gonna be the long.
That is fair. And then so you got one more short.
I've never I've never achieved my last short, which is discover my destiny.
Oh, okay. So
I
that's
have a
fine.
feeling it might come along when I use the sword. Just a thought.
It's
Could very well.
certainly not impossible. Did you have some plans for your XP that was
I'm having a look at the dreamer right now because that's my archetype.
okay.
But the short answer is no.
Well, I'll let you look that over for a moment while I touch base back with Bunny to see, like, did you settle on what your XP expenditures were going to get you?
I did, and I have one final question, which is, what is a trademark again? It's been a while since I played a They Came From game.
Yeah, no problem. So what trademarks are these are things that you are particularly good at. It's a particular good use of a particular skill. So you
like
can
a
think of it
specialty, right?
similar to a specialty. But the way that it works when you are using this, because they can link to a skill or to an attribute. And when you're using your trademark, there's a couple things that come into play. One is that you gain +2 dice to the roll when you activate the trademark. And secondly, trademarks are what allow you to get directorial control. So
Right.
if you get the 5 successes while you're using a trademark, that's where you're going to generally pull
Okay,
directorial
that
control.
sounds totally right. Sweet. Thank you very much for the reminder.
No problem.
I knew it was a thing like that, but I couldn't find it in the book. So I was just like, I will just ask you instead of skipping through looking for the word trademark everywhere.
It's a little buried. It's more it's kind of explained in 2 spots. So one spot explains that you get the 2 extra dice. Then under the directorial control is where it explains that getting the I believe it is 5 or more successes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I was just looking for, I know you went over it already. Apologies again, brain head empty. I was just looking if there was a place where it describes all of the different things I can do with XP. There it is, character advancement. Now that I've said it out loud on stream, I have found it. I knew that would happen. I just wanted to kind of, yeah, I don't know how serious of a, I guess this might be the last episode, so I guess I probably should use my XP.
At least of this arc, yeah. So it's possible depending on the speed at which you all move through things, you are in the driver's seat from here on out. I know what's in front of you,
Fine.
but you get to decide how fast you move through it, more or less. So I would recommend if you got the XP, spend it. You know,
Mhm.
I'm
Trying to spend
honestly
it all right now.
probably going to put 1 dot in an attribute, and because I think I have, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put a dot in an attribute, and I'm going to.
is it going to be intellect? Or are you going to suddenly like
Aha! No.
Eureka?
I feel like so my presence, my might, my stamina, they're all pretty good. My resolve is pretty good. My dexterity is okay. Aylis is not a manipulation kind of person, but unfortunately, she's also not an intellect kind of person. Um, I I feel like I want to put something in cunning, maybe. I mean,
Okay.
I think she's a little like craftier and wiser than the stats reflect. She's just not smart.
Yeah, that's totally fine if you want to
So
drop it in cunning.
I'm gonna
Have
do that.
no
And then
objections
I'm
on my part.
probably gonna dot up in one skill as well.
And what skill were you looking at for that?
Um, why change the habit of a lifetime? I think I will dot up in close combat.
Beautiful. And
Um,
then, and did that consume all of your points?
that consumed. I have 3 left. If I've been keeping track of it correctly, I have 3 left. So I could take a trope,
No, not a
but I think
bad.
I'm gonna
Go ahead.
save it. I
Okay.
think I'm just gonna save it. Because I have plenty of tropes I haven't used yet.
That's fair. And then now, Millie, you've got 8 left after spending
I do,
2 of that.
yeah.
Any thoughts on where you want to spend those?
I'm
Or
looking at tropes that are in different different archetypes because I didn't
yeah,
realize you could get those.
that is the thing. That is the thing with XP that you can do is buy the tropes that go outside your archetype. So if you want to pick up something that's across archetypes, that is something. That is where the XP comes into play there.
The inhuman ones are kind of fun.
Yeah, all of the inhuman ones are good. The puppet ones are also very good, especially for a magic user.
Mhm. There's like a nice little teleport in there and stuff too, looking at the puppet
Ooh.
ones.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all like you're magical and short. You're a puppet.
Yeah. The out of archetype tropes are 5. Those in archetype
Right, yeah,
tropes.
yeah. And then I have 3 left. That's what I'm looking for here.
I'm banking my last 3, believing in my heart of hearts that we have another arc coming up.
Oh, if I have anything to say about it, this will not be the last episode. This will just be the end of this arc. I'm having a grand old time and see no reason to stop doing so. As I've said before, multiple places, anywhere that somebody will let me, this is my favorite role playing game. So you'll have to pry me away from it. And I also get to spend it with some of my favorite people. So
No,
also another reason why I don't want to stop.
It's good vibes, good Friday vibes.
I like it.
absolutely. Yeah, it's actually really, really just like a nice little thing in the week for me when it happens. It's like, oh, yay. It's like a little capstone. Dorky little kind of gay doofus capstone. It's fantastic. Okay, I've got 3 remaining. I think I'm gonna hold on to it because I don't want to buy another trope.
Okay.
I did, however, purchase a quite dramatic trope I'm excited to use.
Oh, what trope did you purchase? Or do you want to save?
Why walk when you can fly?
Love it. Love it. All
Feels right. Yeah.
Yeah, once per scene, you can just walk or sprout wings or whatever, but why sprout wings when you can walk dramatically over a bottomless pit? That sounds fun.
That's a valid point. That is a valid point. Well, that all being said, then, let's dive into the story. So, the road so far, um, as the you know burning arcane symbol shows up on the screen, and you hear Kansas. Um, the road so far of this particular adventure, we've had this group came together kind of by chance, trying to seek out an old and wizened warrior princess for help facing this encroaching force called the void or the empty that has drained the color from people's lives. In their pursuit, they made their way through a forest that was twisted with dark magic and sadness, and discovered that even the other monsters are frightened of the empty. They came to the conclusion that Bella's mother, Mother Blightwood, who was sort of a iconic villain of the realm, is connected to this, possibly directly responsible for it. They made their way to the Mage Council, where they stumbled upon various intrigues, ultimately discovering that Aelis's sister Alida is part of the conspiracy to bring about the empty, and found an unlikely ally in Bella's rival, Mustachio, who has become a friend to the party despite his slightly creepy tendency to hug people with his mustache.
Yeah, he's fine, I guess.
Gotta take allies where you
He's-
can.
He's the accursed dad that stepped up at this point.
Precisely. And then, of course, while in the city, they also gained an ally in Duncan, a member of the Laborers Union, who is now, after being saved from a mystical poison by Aelis, has now sworn to help the party in their quest.
This Saturday morning cartoon supports unions.
Precisely.
I mean, gosh, we could use more of that.
Couldn't we, though? And then,
Yeah.
And as you left the city, you decided to make your way through. Before you left the city, of course, Hilda Warrior Princess was put into sort of a mystical coma. Unsure of what caused it or how to break it, Aelis has packed up her sword just in case. And the three of you have made your way through the ley lines as a shortcut to the Serpentine Mountains. While on your way there, you encountered, and one might say aggravated, a blinded Cyclops who tried to destroy you, but thanks to some quick thinking, you were able to scoot further down, and some 7-leg boots that were given to you by Mustachio. You're able to scoot down the ley line out of the Cyclops' reach and have arrived at the base of the Serpentine Mountains. As you look up through the fog, you can definitely see the skull carved out of the mountainside that does represent Skullface's lair. And that is where our adventure resumes. So what would you like to do, folks?
Well, only way out is onward, right? Everyone okay?
Surprisingly, everything
mean-
seems to be where it was.
I'm a little upset. I thought that was going to go better, but I'm fine.
Looks like your mother's made some enemies.
Well, yeah, of course.
It was a
Perhaps
good idea.
including us. Yeah.
Yeah, you had no way
Well,
of
thank you for that. Can't
Yeah.
all be winning schemes, you know.
you had no way of knowing. It was a wise attempt.
was a calculated risk. Um, I'm not
I feel
very
like I
good
did
at
a lot of
reading the
math
room
on
at the
it.
best of times, so I just trust you. Uh,
Wow.
um, we got a throne to get to, I think.
Hmm.
Let's go.
So are we going straight up the path?
Unless someone stops Alis, yes.
I do wonder if she's going to just gently put a hand on your shoulder. If we should find a quieter way in after our lack of success with the Cyclops.
Right, like a back door. Uh, I'm sure it's got one, right?
Potentially.
Let's look. We'll just go around back and see if we can see anything. Maybe a window.
You want to try around back of the mountain?
I'm
I mean, there has to be a
guessing.
way out, right? Every layer has an escape route for when the heroes barge in, kick the door open, and you need to leave. So there has to be another way out at the very least. That could be a way in with a bit of a push.
Sure, sure. It's a reasonable assumption. Um, let's go ahead and we'll have each of you make a check here. Um, I'll let you either use the same skill, both, or split between the available skills. But I think what we're going to look at is this could be survival. Check out the mountain range, look for natural formations that might hide a secret door or something along those lines. Um, enigmas, sort of solve the
Ooh.
puzzles, or mysticism to look for any sort of signs of magic. So, what approach would Alis want to take?
I don't have any dots in any of those.
Okay.
Wait, does no one in our party have a dot of survival? that is the most on-brand thing this entire campaign.
I mysticism is one of my potential skills for my archetype or something. It's checked off, but I did not put any dots in it.
Well, having said that, you can absolutely default to an attribute. And if you can work in equip, you can always get your equip dice.
Oh, I have a quick question too. Are we supposed to draw new ones at the start of each game?
You can. You don't have to. I only make you retire equip if you want to retire equip.
Okay.
Did you want to grab some new ones?
I may be able to use all of these. It's all right.
I think yeah, I'll lean on an attribute. Stamina, because I think that Alis is gonna maybe climb up something and try to look around, maybe climb up some rocks or like climb up a tree. So just pure what's the word? Pure fight this.
Excellent.
I and just gonna go. I don't really see anything. And then like kind of look around and see a tree and go, but where there's life, there's hope. And hop up a tree.
Perfect. I love
Oh
it.
my
That
God.
absolutely counts. And I'm even going to give you 2 extra dice for that. So go ahead.
That's so freaking cute. Oh my gosh.
Or I'm sorry, 2 enhancement. So if you get 1 success, it'll count as 2 enhancement.
Hooray! Thank you. Let me give the whole thing a roll. Ooh, okay. 3 successes, plus my 2 enhancements.
Excellent. So that comes to
Oh,
5.
nice.
Beautiful. I will let you know what that is. Was Bella also looking, or were you waiting
Oh,
to see what?
absolutely.
And what did
I
you want
think
to lean
Bella's
on?
gonna basically like find a stick that works like a dowsing rod and go wibble it and attempt to find magical energy
All right.
using mysticism and intellect.
Beautiful. Go ahead and give me that mysticism intellect roll,
Um,
please.
I have absolutely nothing. We're looking for aids, right?
8, 9, 10. Yep.
I have nothing at all. I've rolled 7 dice.
Well, look at the
Not a
bright.
single one.
None of them were ones, were they?
Nope.
Excellent. Well, on the bright side, you now have a extra rewrite in the
stick?
pool. So
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And a cool stick. I like my cool
you
stick.
do have a cool stick as well.
Never underestimate the power of just climbing up a tree.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly that. So as you're sort of dowsing around and like walking around, you don't really see much of anything. In fact, you like stop, like literally walk the rod right into the tree that Alis has climbed up. And Alis, while you're up a tree, you see a large, just on the back side of the mountain, looks like a slightly perilous sort of path to get there, which you can probably circumnavigate with your 7 league boots. But you see what looks like a cave opening that has been painted to match a skeletal face, which clearly is the blatantly marked and poorly hidden back door to this place.
As Bella bumps into the tree, Alis looks down and waves and goes, "There's a back door. It's really obvious from up here."
Can I offer a bit of silly narrative on this too?
Absolutely.
I think Bella's like getting ready to do a bunch of magic. She's got the dowsing rod. She's so ready to look in that direction, but you've just dashingly said something so dorky and climbed a tree and dramatically looked off at the distance that she can't help but look at you. So she's like trying to do magic, just walks right into the tree as you look down to then say this to her, and she's just gonna go, yeah,
And it's like a
Right.
skull. I don't
That's-
think we'll have any problem getting there.
that makes a lot of sense.
You look over and she says, "I don't think we'll have any problem getting there." And you see that like there's a perilous trail, leads through ups and downs. There's sort of some brambles and thickets. Seems to be a small moat that you can see like tentacles coming out of in front of it. But it's definitely less than
I
7
see a
leagues.
couple of problems.
Nothing
ones, though.
a good hike won't fix. And Alis will jump down from the tree and be like, "Let's go."
All right, let's go.
Duncan says, "Can we skip this part?
What part?
Can we use our boots?
The tentacle moat,
The moat.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like moats.
brambles.
Yeah. And I mean that we've got him for a reason, right? Right. Great idea, Duncan. And it's just gonna
You step through space, passing over
Kind of excited about the moat.
sort of instantly. You land just on the other side of the moat, close enough that the tentacles do come up and sort of wave around at you, but not close enough that they can reach you.
there you go. You still get a great view of the
Aw,
creepy
kind of
tentacle
cute.
monster.
Duncan
Yeah.
says, sure, if you're into the calamari scene, I suppose.
Anyway.
Pulls out his mace and says, onward.
It just lives in there. What does it eat? It's
Pro-
flailing. It's
Probably
clearly upset. No, a future
trespassers
problem.
would be my guess.
How many trespassers will walk up the backside of a mountain to find a spooky cave guarded by a tentacle moat that's looking like a skull?
Well, clearly not enough because it's obviously hungry.
We're
Do you
gonna need
wanna
to find an
Very silly.
alternate source of food for this thing later. But
Mhm.
that's on the to-do list. For now, it wasn't us, and that I'm gonna take that as a win.
All right.
Right, what's next? And kind of looks up this sort of winding path up the back.
Looks like it leads into a subterranean cave, like a tunnel. Do you want to? There's no source of light that you can see from the mouth. Do you want to try to sneak your way through? Do you want to try to go through blatantly. There's really not going to be much way for you to summon a light source and sneak.
Oh.
Though you may be
I
able to
just gotta
work
check the
some.
rules on a trope really quick here.
I was going to say you may be able to work some magic to be able to see in the dark, but
Okay, so I have a trope that I haven't really used before. I use it on occasion for difficult conversations called face the music. She's sort of often like humming or singing along or something like that. It has an enhancement for the whole group of heroes when rushing away or towards danger until the scene ends. Can that apply to stealthily approaching if we go but
absolutely, of course,
then that's the
completely.
plan. On an accordion quietly. But an accordion, not a trumpet. That's my face for some reason.
Right. I mean, it's hard to accordion with your face. It's much easier
That's true.
to trumpet.
That's pretty close.
You make a squeeze box assisted stealth attempt. So what we will do here is I'm going to go ahead and have each of you. Now your trope. So is that a trope or a trademark?
I think it's a trope, isn't it? It's a sage trope.
Okay, and it adds,
Once per story. I can only do it once per story.
and it adds something, or it just allows you to.
It says the background music grants a +1 enhancement for the whole group of heroes in rushing away or towards danger until the scene ends.
+1 enhancement. Great. In that case, let's have each of you go ahead and make a larceny. Yeah, we'll do larceny probably with your dexterity, but I'm willing to hear other things.
I think dexterity works pretty well.
And then you can have an enhancement of 1. And I will just make one simple roll to see if you are perceived.
I got 1 success.
See how I do.
So
I'm like
2 with the enhancement.
athletics.
I asked you with the enhancement.
I got 1 success.
All right, so 2 with the enhancement. I'm going to
Stealth accordion for the win.
I'm going to assume
Let's go.
Duncan performs at least as well as the lowest of you on these rolls, so he also has 2 successes.
Nice.
So you're sneaking along, playing your and sort of sneaking sneaking your way through the area behind rocks. You go past several sentries. You see the first guardian in this area is what looks like one of the orcs that has been chained to the wall and has like spikes driven through various areas of its skin, places where the skin is peeled back, exposed bones in the ribs. Clearly it is suffering and has been warped to the point of being insensate. It is now just a feral guardian, but it does not notice you. In fact, it seems almost carried away with the noise of the music. The second group of guardians you pass by,
This is working.
you see a man who appears to have the upper body of a person, but the lower body of like a sheep. He's very, very puffy. And he is carrying as a weapon what looks like a sword-sized pair of shears. And he's kind of like running back and forth, sort of checking the hall. But you manage to scoot around him.
I'm fully picturing this as like the guards outside of like Zelda's castle that just are on like that one patrol path where we're like hiding behind a hedge.
Exactly. You're finding little crevasses to dive into and outcroppings, and maybe some places where there's like a, you know, luminescent fungus that you can like get behind so that they won't see you because you're like behind the light source. Um, but and this continues. This continues for probably an hour of you sneaking along.
Oh,
And
wow.
finally, you come to a place where it opens up and you see this area seems to be almost more like a vehicular storage. There are various, not only are there strange war machines that have like treads on them and seem to have some sort of metal casings and odd engines, but there's also flying sleds here, half dozen of them. Unfortunately, this area is well manned and patrolled by, we'll say at the moment, 6 of the serpent people. And they absolutely notice you as you enter the room.
Well, that was good while it lasted. Does everyone have their weapons?
I guess they're more smell themed. I don't know what a musical smell would sound like. I got to figure that out for next time. Hi.
They turn.
Hey, everybody. Nice to see you.
Intruders.
Yeah, I thought that's how it would go.
No.
You and just kind of
Do I look like an
motions to-
intruder to you?
Very much so. You are these warriors of legend we hear of. You are the ones who Slitherus warned us about. You are the ones who destroyed poor Ham-Fisted and freed Clarence.
I can say with some certainty that technically wasn't us.
Yeah.
Technically. Do I look like a hero to you? Or don't I look like someone else more familiar?
You probably would be looking for Hilda Warrior Princess, right?
You bear a resemblance. Like holds his hand up. Oh, you're Blightwood's child.
Mm-hmm.
Even better. They all draw their scimitars.
Ah, damn it.
Again. Who hasn't your mother upset?
CD13. Oh, dang, Jiminy.
They say, we shall give you a choice. You will surrender, and we will escort you to the royal chamber, or we will fight to the death.
Alis will lean over and be like, aren't we trying to get to the royal chamber?
Yeah, 100%.
Love
surrendering.
No.
Huge surrender fans over here. Yeah, 100%.
Completely overwhelmed us. We could never fight 6 of you. Please,
oh my gosh, like
take me to your leader.
You're like so powerful.
Good. I'm glad you recognized this. You 3 in the back, relieve them of their arms. They hold up their scimitars. No, their weapons.
Oh. I need that. Can I? One of them is just, it's completely useless. It's like a security blanket. You can have the rest of my weapons. Is that okay?
Which weapon is useless?
This one points at Hilda's massive sword.
I have a plan to back this up fully.
How would you like to back this up?
I have on my character sheet from way back in the day a stuffed minotaur that she won at like the carnival that she's been carrying with her this whole time. So I think she would like to pull out the stuffed minotaur and be like, it's just like my stuffy here. It's a little safe friend, you know? You know how fleshy pinkskins are. We need little things like this. Isn't it a cute little sword?
The thing I do a lot of damage with is this, and we'll pull out that sort of like a mace and be like, oh, sorry, here, and just set it down.
Duncan kind of looks at the both of you and sets his weapons down. So what I'm going to do is, since you've pulled out the stuffy and you have lent your assistance here,
attempted manipulation.
I'm going to give a +2 enhancement To, I guess I would go for, you could use persuasion.
Yeah, definitely using persuasion.
And what would you like
Um,
to lean on with that?
See, as much as I think that um manipulation would be great, I don't have any, so I'm gonna try to advocate for a different attribute. Um, Presence.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I'm harmless. Look at I'm so charismatic.
No,
Here, I'll give you my weapons. Uh,
perfect.
Maybe they're just awed by my mere presence. Okay. Okay, we have. It's not my best array of rolls. One, two. Not my worst. Three plus the you said two
Yes,
enhancements.
it's 5.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, considering how many dice I rolled, it's a little upsetting, but it could be worse.
sure. They kind of look at each other. And then the one in charge says, "Look at those arms. She's noodles for arms. There's no way she can lift that sword."
That's why I have to carry it on my back.
What about the man? The man might be able to do it. Oh, yes, the man could. You may keep the sword, and one of them, like, hits Duncan in the back of the head with the hilt of their scimitar, and he kind of falls unconscious.
Okay.
Well,
That's what they call a complication.
that does complicate things.
Right. Well, take us to your leader and also him, please. You're so strong. I'm sure you can carry him.
They lift him up and start
Great.
walking you up through the halls. You walk past several sort of death traps. Like they explain to you that you're under the throne room, so there's a lot of viewports here that lead to the various death traps. You see like a lava flow on one side. You see more tentacles on the other side, and they're like, "Yeah, that's the beast from the moat. It doesn't quite fit all the way down there."
Have you thought
Oh, as
about
you can feed it from
making
this
its
end.
enclosure bigger?
Why?
It's clearly outgrown its space.
And
Oh, you guys are bad guys. Okay.
I like that that's what sets it in for stone for you. You're like, they are villains. Giant tentacle monster mistreatment. Which is valid.
This koi is in a fishbowl. You villains.
And of course, over here is where we used to keep our rancor until some visiting hero destroyed it. And this is the piranha tank. And you see sort of bubbles floating around. Very impressive, yes.
Very much so. It's fully like ooh and awing all of the traps and shenanigans.
Alis is kind of like quietly to Bella is like, do you think maybe they don't get a chance to show a lot of people this?
No, not very often.
Yeah, they're super proud of it.
I would be too. Look at the piranhas.
Yeah, they're kind of
They
cool.
look healthy. I'm surprised about the tentacle monster, but like, look at those. Wow.
You
got
How
plenty
often do
of
you get to
space.
feed piranhas something?
you round a corner and opens into a massive throne room. The room looks like you could probably fit about 500 people in here. However, there are currently but 2. You see sitting upon the throne, Skullface, and standing at his right hand, Mother Blightwood. Mother Blightwood is completely devoid of color at this point. But Skullface still bears his golden skull and his blue flesh, his tattered blue robe, starting to slightly become gray at the edges. He rises to his feet, and you hear,
What?
Can you go again?
No, no, no.
Was that him?
We need to get you like a megaphone or
Double
something.
time, double time. The serpent people start like poking you in the back. Like, move.
Okay, we're moving. We're moving.
Was that a different language? Alis is desperately trying to understand what.
I mean, what was it?
No, it's very clear to you that he's just so far away that you're having a hard time hearing
You
what
just
he's
can't
saying.
quite hear him. Right, okay.
Once you
Okay,
get
approach a little closer.
once you get closer, once you get along the very large throne room, he says, "I see you have returned to your proper home."
That one's you, I think.
I mean, always got to come home on occasion, you know?
Does this mean that you have decided to wisely join our quest?
Oh gosh, no. I still think you're both being very silly.
That is unfortunate.
But I figure we should at least have dinner, right?
Dinner?
Get to catch up a little bit.
Why, yes. Allow me to make the proper preparations. But first, guards, seize them and take them to the dungeons. See to it that they are very uncomfortable.
We've already been sieged. Oh my goodness.
So dramatic. Do we let
This
them
is like
do this?
so rude.
The guards
Should we
sort
let them
of
do this?
lunged forward toward you.
I mean, I would like to get dinner. But I don't really want to be uncomfortably seized. I'm sure we can come to an agreement here. Mother?
The guards are all like paused while they wait for her to answer. She says, "I've told you. Give yourself over to this. This is inevitable. I don't wish to see harm come to you. But if you force my hand, I will."
It's hard to give oneself over to the empty on an empty stomach.
So if we go quietly, are we gonna actually have dinner, or are you just saying that?
Or do we just get thrown in the dungeon?
Eventually we will eat, yes.
That sounds sus, right? Am I? Is it just everything he says sounds suspicious? Or
I think so. I think
I do have one of those voices, and I'm told.
You do. You
Yeah.
really do.
Not a very trustworthy face either.
Look, we
Hand over the sword.
To be fair though, that's not your fault. Your face is like that, you know?
Yeah. Hey, look, we don't need to be seized. If you want us to go sit in the dungeon while we wait for dinner, we can do that. That's fine.
You are carrying the sword of power. You will hand it over immediately.
Yeah, no, I won't.
No,
I'm not doing
we're not
that.
doing that.
No.
It's like a comfort sword. We had this conversation with the guards.
Yeah, they took all the rest of our stuff already.
Seize them.
Okay.
So
are we
We're gonna
fighting?
get seized. That's the worst.
Well, do you want to get seized? Because we can fight.
No, I don't want to get seized. I
Okay.
got an idea for
Well,
this.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'll follow your lead.
Sounds good.
So I need you
Just, like,
to
so annoyed.
select the lower of your athletics plus cunning or empathy plus dexterity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, now they're actually tied. My athletics.
Nice.
Oh, okay, no, athletics and cunning is still one higher, but my empathy and dexterity is slowly increasing. I have 4 dice on initiative now.
And my
I have one
athletics
success.
plus cunning is slowly increasing. So
Woo!
we're getting there.
My athletics is garbage. My cunning just bumps it. So,
2 successes.
Nice.
Could be worse. My other one is better, but my lowest, my athletics cunning is 4, so that's not too bad now. Could be worse. He used to be 3 because I used to have no dots in cunning.
And what, pray tell, did Bella get?
1 success. And you had no dots in cunning. I still have no dots in might.
I still have no dots in intellect. Absolutely none. None in manipulation,
Fair
none in
enough. I
intellect.
bought up to
I
2 in
stacked
stamina.
a very specific character.
You're valid.
She can fight and have presence.
That's why she's so cute.
I won't add too much to cunning. She's just too charming when she's dumb, but intellect staying at 0, my friends. Never 1 dot, but the standard 1 dot. Also, just bad at manipulating people. These are just standards of her personality.
These are all good things, though, right?
I was like, I'm playing a sweet potato, a cinnamon roll. Also dumb as a brick.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, when the storyteller says, "Oh wow, okay,"
It's
questionable.
a little bit concerning.
All right. The serpents definitely go first.
That does check out.
They're going to lunge forward. They're going to come at you basically as a mob. So one of them is going to actually, there'll be 2 mobs of 3. So one will make an attack against each one of you, and then they will gain 2 enhancement each. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
To represent the remainder of the mob that is leaping upon you. None of them are bothering with. The one is just dropping Duncan. So that said, would you like to go full defensive, or would you like to just make a regular defensive action?
I think Bella will go probably full defensive.
Right.
Um,
Or if you have a trope or something like that you want to use, you can also employ those.
Oh, I totally do.
What trope did Bella have in mind?
Is there still like a giant bottomless pit in the middle of here?
What's that?
Wasn't there like a bottomless pit here?
Yes, there is. Behind the throne, basically on either side is a bottomless pit.
Behind the throne. Okay. Wow, that's a bit harder to get to then.
Well, you do have the flight now.
That's true. The plan was to go walk over it and say, "Come and get me to the snakes." But if it's a bit hard to get to, that might not be super doable. But I have a very silly backup plan.
The trope just lets you fly, right?
Yep.
So if you make your defensive action and you spend to increase your because you can get stunts with that, right? So I would let you use 1 success to move an additional range band, because you can always move a range band. So I'd let you use the 1 success to move the additional range band so that you'd be flying over the bottom.
I think I like my silly backup plan a little bit more.
Okay. What's your silly backup plan?
It is to use a cinematic power.
Oh, what's this?
Well, hang on, what's it called? I've lost the name of it. I know it costs 2. Do incapacitating laughter?
Okay.
Which would then be to like look at the snakes approaching her and go, "Wait, how do you make a snake laugh?"
And they look at each other raise their eyebrows.
You tell a hysterical joke.
Wow.
I'm not sorry.
you,
I'm gonna try to incapacitate them with the cinematic power.
You should be. You should be very sorry. So are you going to?
I'm not sorry at all.
It's a good thing
Bella's
Aelis
not sorry
is dumb.
either. She's a villain. This is normal.
Are you going to try to? So you're trying to do this defensively. Let's go ahead and have you roll mysticism.
Okay.
And I would assume cunning probably, because you're trying to do it on the quick.
Sure.
And if you get more successes than their attack, they will succumb.
Okay. And I think this costs 2 rewrites too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does cost 2 rewrites.
Yeah. Are 10s 2?
Yes.
I have 6 successes.
Oh my god! All right.
I got 2 8s and 2 10s.
So they lunge forward.
And other dice.
They lunge forward at you and fall. All 3 of them fall to the ground.
Right, it's a good one.
Completely incapacitated. And this, I would say, in fact, will lay them out for the duration. It also will see the ones that are attacking. Yep. It also lays out the ones that would be attacking Alis.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So you've dropped them all.
You were so ready for a combat.
Alis is like reaching to the sword.
Travis.
Oh, you're
looks at you and goes, "I don't get it."
Skullface shouts, "You incompetent boobs!" and then turns to Mother Blightwood and says, "Seize them!" And
that's worse.
Mother Blightwood starts flying toward you. Now, Alis, you have an action before Mother Blightwood goes.
Oh, no sense of humor here.
Yeah. I would like to draw the sword and potentially raise it aloft.
Excellent. You draw the sword, you raise it aloft.
She remembers that like pull that she had to do it before when and that she ignored. So this time she just skipped straight to it. She's just like, all right, let's do this. There's probably something I should say, right? I don't think it's let's do this.
It's whatever comes to mind. What comes to mind when you raise the sword?
That's a lot of pressure. It's the thing I'm gonna have to say every time I raise the sword after this. Oh no, why, CJ? By the power of friendship.
Excellent.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I love that so much. That's
brain went,
perfect.
friendship,
That is perfect. 100%.
No. You raise aloft your mighty sword and shout, "By the power of friendship!" There's clouds sort of, no, you can't see this because you're inside, but clouds gather over top of the Serpentine Mountains, and lightning begins striking rapidly back and forth. Hold on. I think we're frozen.
I think we're okay.
I think that I still see.
You see us okay?
I see us moving.
I'm pretty delayed on it.
All right.
I think we are a bit delayed.
Let me refresh.
I totally missed that we were having some difficulties, so I'm going to try to fix it as well on my end. I apologize. Please hold while I
no worries.
See what I can do about fixing
OBS
it.
with some packet drops and stuff like that kind of difficulties? Or?
Yeah, I dropped a whole bunch of frames.
Yeah, oh no.
And then
shoot, that's the worst.
Seems to maybe have gotten better.
No.
Does it look good to the two of you?
I've just
it's looking
done a
pretty
reload.
smooth, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, looks good to me.
Great. I hope that we didn't drop frames during anything terribly important. My apologies. I just now noticed it. So, as I was saying, you raise aloft your sword. You say, "By the power of friendship," outside the castle. Clouds gather. Lightning starts shooting back and forth between them. And then a stream of lightning of every color of the rainbow shoots through the ceiling and surrounds you in energy. You float up off of the ground, and what transforms? What happens to Alis as the power of friendship transforms her?
Yeah, I mean, first off, really cool outfit, I think. That's a given. Because, Alis has just been in regular clothes. I think if you were to recreate this outfit for, say, a children's costume, it would have a lot of metallic. I think, little metallic pauldrons and little metallic stripes down the side of the legs. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Big Gem in the holograms, I think.
Nice. I love it.
um, it's 80, so the hair's got to be big. And yeah, I mean, full on. I think she's got like a full face of like really jewel tone makeup on as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's like
It
Gem
like
the holograms
contours and blends for you. Like,
Yeah. It's full 80s. Just I've got to lean into it. I've got to go with it. And it's all the sword itself has matching jewel tones to the outfit, I think. And she's probably like a little buffer too.
Excellent.
She's already kind of buff, so it's nominal. It's a very small detail.
As you float down to the ground, your new costume, does your hair get any longer or change colors or anything like that?
Yeah, like huge. The hair is huge.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Is it huge with like the big bangs and then like this thing, like the Aquanet thing?
Well, so yeah, sort of like somewhere between that and like Ariel from Little Mermaid times 10, but not that color, just that big like poof, and then like and it just kind of like flows in the wind, even if there is no wind. It's just there. It's glorious. It's like an 80s hair commercial.
Perfectly. Perfect. You land next to Bella. Bella, you see this transformation take place. You can freely exchange dialogue with one another before the next action takes place.
Whoa.
I think that's Bella's entire dialogue. It's just
Excellent. On the downside, that does take your turn to do. On the bright side, now while you're wielding the sword, you have +1 scale in all categories and an enhancement of 2 on top of that to your
Holy
attack.
shit.
wild.
I love how the whole time you're like, you feel this urge to raise it aloft. And I'm like, yeah, I don't.
I know. That was so funny. You're like, what if I just reject the call to action? What is a hero? We just don't know.
Well, a lot of Aquanet is what a hero is in this situation.
Exactly. The lightning is actually the cloud gathering, and the lightning is actually just the hole that the power of friendship rips in the ozone layer.
Well, what color are the crystals and stuff? Like, what color is the clouds? Is there like a palette throughout all of this?
Yeah, I mean, you said gem like, so like I'm thinking like a lot of pinks, purples, and like blues.
Blues. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. All right. I'm here for it. I mean, you will definitely at least get a oh wow out of Bella towards the end of that.
Just
startled
kind of
gasp.
grins over her shoulder at you. Like, yeah.
Mother Blightwood raises an eyebrow and says, "You intend to mock me?" And holds out her hand and fires a blast of mystical energy at you.
Can I try to block it with the sword?
You can. You can go ahead and choose whichever resistance attribute you'd like to go with. Resilience attribute, I should say. You do get the scale bonus and the +2 enhancement.
Okay, I'm gonna go with resolve.
All right.
And it's just straight resolve, right? I'm not pairing anything with that.
Right, just resolve and then the 2 enhancement.
Okay, cool. Okay, could be worse. With the enhancement, that's 5.
All right.
Like almost just instinctually, whether or not it fully works, she just raises the sword to try and like broadside out to try and block this.
So Bella, you're standing there next to her and you like see this blast of energy, and you're used to the energy that your mother wields being like purple in tone.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just gray energy flies forward from her hand. And you see Alis whip the sword up in front of her and then just get blown out of your vision. Like off screen from your peripheral vision. As you were looking in her direction, she's blown out of your point of view. You look over to the direction she was blown into, all the way at the back end of the conference room. And you see, like, the wall behind her starting to, like, crumble and, like, bits of rock falling down, but she's still just holding the sword unscathed. Looks like she just got pushed back by the force.
That's wild.
You take no damage.
Yes. Just
Right.
sitting there like, not trying to mock you, trying to help you.
I can't hear you, you twit. If you want something done, you have to do it yourself. Skullface steps forward and says, "You are the child of someone I care about. Therefore, I will give you one chance to surrender and join us."
No thanks.
Then die. And he
Also, no thanks. Sorry.
Is there a
shoots
secret third option?
energy out of his eyes.
Exactly. Is there a third option here? Wait, he's shooting energy too? Oh my gosh, we're gonna have beams for days.
Purple energy shoots out of his eyes at you. This time you'll just make a straight defense roll. Do you have any means of generating scale?
Generating scale. I'm not sure that I do. No. I think I'm just gonna try to defend myself on this one.
All right, let's see what you got.
We'll see. So then I guess. So it's a resilience trait, right? So I can use like resolve.
Yep, resolve, stamina, or composure.
Then let's roll flat resolve. I don't have a great feeling about this one. I have 2. Better than nothing.
This hits you, and you realize that it's by virtue of the fact that that he was looking at you a little askew, that he didn't make a direct contact, that you didn't actually get wounded by it, but you are thrown 2 range bands to the left,
right.
From the force of the blast.
Well, startling not to be wounded by that. But I anticipate she's going to not be quite so graceful at this. I think she's going to basically smack against a wall and use force to prevent herself from taking too much damage on that, and then sprawl across the floor, drag herself up going, but like a complaining sound more than an in pain sound, more like a, ugh, really?
Glorious.
Like as she hits the wall, Alice will be like, Bella, but like sees that.
Yeah.
I would. Bella might not notice this because you're reeling from the blow. But Alice, you definitely notice an exchange take place between Skullface and Mother Blightwood before Mother Blightwood heads your way. In fact, actually, Bella, let's have you make a integrity cunning roll, and we're going to say it's going to be a difficulty 2.
I do have a little bit of those.
Or not difficult, so it'll be a normal difficulty, but it's going to have a complication of 2. If you don't make the complication, you won't be able to make out exactly what is said.
2 successes, so I can't quite buy off the complication.
Okay, that's fine. He says something about you take that one. I'll deal with your offspring, something along those lines. You also do note there's like a bit of pause before your mother starts making her way toward Alice. That brings us to our second round of combat. Duncan is still unconscious on the floor, by the way, in the middle of all this. So
he'll wake up confused later, regardless of how this goes.
He absolutely will. So, Alice, the next action is yours. What would you like to do?
I think she's not like putting her sword away, but she's gonna pull her sword kind of to her side-ish. It's huge, so I don't know. But she's big too. That's fine. She's gonna start to cross the distance to Mother Blightwood, and when she's in not shouting range, um, she's gonna say like, "We don't want to hurt you, but we don't want these things to end. It's that's your daughter. You really gonna let him hurt her?"
Go ahead and make a persuasion roll, please.
Cool. I also one time per story I can. This is a really bad time to use it, but one time per story I can get an enhancement to persuasion because I have large tracks of charisma.
This is your daughter.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
maybe there's a moment, right? Like, I definitely look different than Hilda, but maybe there's a moment where she's remembering something.
Sure, yeah, you certainly do look familiar. Go ahead. Go ahead and take that.
Terrible time to do it, but it's also the best time.
How much enhancement?
I think it's just a one enhancement. Let me have a look. It's my trope. One time per story, gain one enhancement on persuasion. So just one, but it's a thing.
That's
it's
enough.
something.
Give it a shot.
So persuasion. I'm pairing this with an attribute, right?
Yes.
Can I do presence?
Absolutely.
Cool. Oh, I got tens. One. We said tens count as two, right?
Yep.
Right. 5. 6. 8. That's 8.
She stops floating, like lands, and then like drops to one knee, and she says, "Don't you get it? I can't save anyone.
You don't have to do it alone."
It's too late. If the darkness can take him," and she looks over at Skullface as he is running towards Bella. "You mistake!" Draws back like he's got like this staff with a ram's head on it, and he's like bringing it down to like swing it at your face. But you do have an action before he does. He is super slow and very much telegraphing his move.
Does Bella have an action?
Screw that guy.
Yeah, Bella has an action first. Absolutely.
Yeah. So then, I mean, why let them choose who they fight? Let's use that "why walk when you can fly" to just go up and over him. And then she's going to approach her mom.
All right, so you're flying over towards your mother.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I can get there in one action, because I think you said I moved 2 scales over.
You move one range band normally, so you would need to make it would just be an intellect mysticism.
Okay, let's.
And I would let you use whatever extra successes you have after the one it takes you to move as a defense, because he is absolutely going to shoot you in the back. He's not a nice guy.
Yeah, that sounds good. She might not actually take too much time into the defense on this. We'll see. Okay. I've got a 10 and 2 8, so that's 4.
All right, so 3 of them becomes your defense effectively, plus your base defensive 1. So he needs 4 successes to be able to tag you in the back. However, he does have 10 dice to try to get him with. That is 6.
Oh no.
So he exerts 2 scale in roles in the mental and social arenas, including using magic.
Uh-oh.
So you take 6 health levels of damage.
Sounds good. I'll mark it down. That'll leave a scar.
You're shot in the back and land like smoldering and smoking at Alis and Mother Blightwood's feet.
Yikes.
Ow.
Does Aylis have time to
It's
move
your
or
action
talk
now.
right now? I thought so. Okay, I didn't want to jump
Yeah.
in. I think Aylis will.
Can I?
Sorry,
I
go
do,
ahead.
I do want to add a word or something in there.
Yeah, you
on
can
the way
absolutely
over.
monologue as you land.
To go, Mom, no. What are you doing? There's more to life than blam. Gets blasted and lands in a smoking heap between the two of them.
Aylis will run to well, I mean, like right there, so maybe 2 steps to Bella, and like start to help her up, but is going to speak to. It says, Mother Blatewood, everybody has moments where they're tired, where something can take them over, even someone as good as he was. We're here now, and there's always going to be someone, whether it's us, me and Bella, or you or him or someone new. There's always going to be someone who has the energy to fight the bad. You've got to let, and is trying to like help sit Bella up. He's like, you've got to let us try.
She says, you don't understand. It is what you are doing that got me here in the first place. That weakness. You expose yourself. I could have taken you out when you reached down to help her. That mercy, that attachment.
But you didn't, and I was counting on that.
You see like streaks of color start appearing on her cheeks. You realize that it's wet where the streaks of color have appeared.
I think if Aylis has gotten Bella up, Aylis will kind of nudge her toward her mom.
She turns to you. The color returns to her eyes, and you can see the streaks, the tears coloring her face.
We're here now because we want this to get better. Bella's here now because she wants it to be better.
She looks up and says, Bella, I don't know what. And then is blown completely out of your field of vision by an oncoming blast from the side.
Yeah.
You traitorous boob! If you want something done, you clearly have to do it yourself.
Bella,
Wow,
do you want
great.
to take this guy, or do you want to stick with your mom?
Ow. All right, taking in the scene here. How dinged up does her mom look right now?
She landed on the ground and like rolled like 5 times and like smacked into the wall and is smoking right now.
Okay, that sounds good. Then wait, do I have an action here? Can I do like an entire action?
Yeah, it's technically, or Ayla spent her turn monologuing and convincing your mom.
Okay, awesome. Then let's try to encourage Aylis. You know what? Let's be a total dork. I think I'm gonna use a quip, which is give me your hand. I'm gonna reach for you. It's gonna say, kick his ass, and she's gonna give you a kiss.
Awesome.
And then she's gonna sprint towards her mom.
Is this like like a kiss on the cheek, or is this like a
no, not at all.
Masters of the Universe?
It's like a full on like pulls herself up to the lips and goes for it. And then says kick his ass, and then she's gonna go try to like make sure mom's not dead.
Excellent.
Under all the jewel tone face paint, Aylis is bright red.
To give you a wink.
I will let you have the 2 enhancement from the Bella's help as Bella turns and runs. The action comes back to you. Skullface says, "What do you think you're going to do?" As he brandishes his staff at you.
She just pulls her sword back up and she's like, well, I'd like to convince you to stop, but I think we're gonna have to fight. And is gonna go at him with the sword.
Excellent. You rush forward, swinging your sword of power. Go ahead and give me a close combat and might roll. He is going to try his best to withstand that.
Awesome. I made a very fighty character, and all she ever does is go, look deep into your heart. Oh, more tens. These are these last two rolls are the first times I've rolled tens this session, and I've rolled several. So that's 4, 5, 7 successes, including the enhancement.
Oh,
But it was a 2 enhancement, right?
yes.
Okay, yeah, 7 successes.
So 5 of those get through to hit him. So that's 5 health plus the scale. So that's 7 health he loses. You cut through the staff he had and like into his shoulder. And he goes, "Oh, I forgot how much that hurts. Ouch."
And she's like, there's still time to give up. I don't want to hurt you.
He says, "Perhaps we could work together, but you've forgotten one thing." And he shoots a blast at your face.
Right
What is
before,
the thing?
yeah, she goes, what?
Go ahead and roll your integrity plus stamina real quick.
Okay. At least that's not bad. Yeah. Well, no tens this time, but still some successes. 3 successes.
He fires this blast of gray energy at your face that sort of fizzles and pops and doesn't do much. He says, "That was meant to blind you," and falls over.
Hey, she just kind of bends over him and she's got her sword, but she's not like holding it to him. And she goes, but what did I forget?
The magic. I have magic. You.
Oh,
How have I been defeated by such a twit?
sometimes being smart is bad for you, if my sister's any indication. So do you want to stop being a bad guy now?
You know what? He points a finger up at you, and then over your shoulder, you see a mace come down and just land square between his eyes.
Never mind.
And
Look.
It's Duncan, and he just starts screaming and just like bashing him in the face with the mace.
Okay, I think he's dead. I think he's dead, Duncan. You did a good job.
He drops the mace. Did we win? You hear Skullface go, "That really was not necessary."
Oh, he's still alive. Cool. Yeah, I think we got him.
Meanwhile,
Traitorous boob is still making me laugh.
Hey,
meanwhile, across the way, Bella, you run over to the heap where your mother is laying. The color seems to have returned to her entirely, which is almost unfortunate because it allows you to see that the color is likewise fading from her, but not for the same reasons. When you arrive, you realize she's not breathing.
Just gonna put her on her back and take her hands and say, could have had so much more time together. We could have had that dinner. We could have talked. I could have introduced you to this beautiful person. I hope I still can. Maybe. At the very least. I'm just going to cry a little bit. Hey, I've got a trope for this.
What's your trope?
I have the power of friendship.
Okay.
I love this trope.
Please let us know.
Let me pull the specifics up here.
This is a heart turner thing, isn't it?
I believe it comes from her
It's a heart
turn.
turner thing. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, where the heck is it in the dang book now? I didn't write down the page for this one trope. I did. I just put it in a different spot. It's on page 32. There we go. So there are a few more powerful magics than love and friendship. Nothing is more painful to witness than the death of one of your closest friends or loved ones. Once per story, when your tears fall into the body of a character whose life has slipped away, heartfelt anguish revives them, fills their injuries up to entire last-ditch effort track, and removes any condition they might have had before their death.
Excellent. There's a close up as the tear runs down Bella's cheek and falls and lands on Mother Blightwood's cheek. And when it does, it spreads out and the gray of death clears away as she draws in a deep breath. And
She's gonna probably not even notice at first, just lost in her own little like friendship monologue here about how there's so much color and joy in this life that I hope you can still see sometime. And
you feel
not
you
even
feel a
notice that
finger
she's
on your
healed.
lips, like mid monologue. She
Oh.
sits up.
Hey, Mom.
Thank you. What about your friends? Are they?
Oh, nothing could stop her. She's fine. She hasn't even looked. In fact, she'll say, I haven't even looked.
She says, well, we should get out of here.
Why?
This place is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You
Agree with
looked
you on that one.
you looked
Can it
happy there
stand?
in the city. I think so. As you're helping her up, you can clearly see. I guess Alis and Duncan, you're standing by where Skullface is laying.
Yeah, like Alice is like brushing herself off and like, I don't think he's getting up anytime soon, Duncan. Like,
Yeah, you see Duncan's like his arm is like limp as he like drops the mace, just exhausted from the several blows that he dropped on Skullface.
she just claps a hand on his shoulder and then looks over to the other two to see what the situation is. Oh, you're up. Good.
I feel they're both supporting each other because neither of them can really stand. You see,
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point.
They're like between the two of them, they have two functioning legs basically at this point. Like they're beat to shit. Like what level are you at right now, health wise?
I mean, I took the 6 damage and any damage before, so I think I'm at the very end of That'll Leave a Scar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got +2 archetype dice though. That's cool.
Yeah, they're pretty beat up.
I mean, this place would be all right with a few decoration changes, right?
You want to try to rehabilitate this evil lair? Do not redecorate my lair.
Definitely redecorating his lair. Now that you've said that, I'm definitely doing it.
Is there no end to the indignities?
You know, I think if you just had a few more yellow walls, you'd be doing a lot better.
He raises himself up onto his
At least a little bit of color. It
into
adds
his
a
front,
lot.
and then starts to stand very slowly. He says, "Cast the power of friendship," and runs and dives into the bottomless pit.
Probably should have kept him from escaping, huh?
It's not like I could really catch him in this state.
Yeah, let him escape. We'll fight him later. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? Next thing you know, I'm going to be hugging people and talking about the power of friendship.
Hey, it happened to me too. It was weird.
Well,
turns out
a lot more fun, right?
I wouldn't qualify what just happened as fun, but it did feel good. And she like squeezes Bella closer.
It'll be a good story, hey?
Indeed. Well, we've defeated him, and I can already feel the empty receding. You've won. Now we have to figure out what comes next. And we will after we take this break. So let's go ahead and take 5 minutes for biological and technological needs.
Sounds good. Sounds
I
good.
forgot about a break.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns before we step away for a moment?
Yeah, it's been
Good.
fun.
Awesome, cool. All right, if you're watching live, just hang out while you're watching. You could go check out the Bizarre Kingdoms Kickstarter.
Yay.
You could go check out the Branch Riders Kickstarter. I'm gonna throw both of those up in the chat, and we will be back momentarily. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Onyx Path Twitch. If you're just now joining us, you missed the awesome first half of our story where the heroes headed to Skullface's lair and were victorious through the power of friendship, as we all know, one of the most powerful things in the universe. Just before break, Skullface, of course, escaped by diving into the bottomless pit in the lair, but everyone else has decided to sort of heal and then begin the construction of the future. So what does that look like? What sort of... Now that you have access to this villainous lair, you have access to the people that were beneath it. The empty has been driven back. The Mage Council knows that you're responsible, so you have their goodwill. What would you like to do?
I have a few agenda points.
Yeah, same. What are yours?
We enlarge the moat so that the tentacle monster has more room.
That's number one. All right.
It's number one.
That feels important, yeah.
We help the ogre rehabilitate and find peace and unchain him from the wall. Hopefully he's not so far gone. I think we might need to work on it step by step. For Bella, we keep the piranhas.
They're so cute, though.
Yeah, we'll keep them. That's fine. We can feed it. It's okay. I think maybe if we can establish some sort of fast travel between here and the city, so we're not just living isolated alone on top of a mountain in a former evil villain's lair.
Are we going to move in? Is that the plan?
Well, we need a headquarters, right? A defensible headquarters in case something bad happens.
Sure. I don't see why not. Got to rebrand the skull, though.
Yeah. What should we make it?
At least give it a hat.
You could paint it gray. Then it would be gray skull.
Just make it. Well, the thing is,
it.
the skulls are kind of shaped like this a little bit anyway. So if we just add a little bit, it could just be a heart. Just fucking about that.
With eyes in it?
No, you have to paint over the eyes.
Okay.
Really poorly painted over skull. I don't know. Maybe we just paint it all a solid color. What do you think, Bella? What's on Bella's agenda?
So I think one of the first agenda items is to have a gay little chat and like fully spill her guts and how long she's had feelings for Alis and how she thinks it's really sad that Alis considers herself stupid and calls herself that all the time because she's the one that saved the world. And that no one else could have done it. So she's like real proud of Alis and real stoked on her and wants to know how cool she is.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Alis is bad with words, so
well then let's dive into this. So like you've gotten Mother Blightwood at least stabilized and doing well. The two of you are on the roof of the castle. Has Alis turned back normal, or has Alis just left the power of friendship on?
I think that in the initial like traipsing around the castle, like reassigning or dismissing evil folks, they would have, and then when they were sure that everything was safe and chill, then they would have put the sword back and kind of back to Alis.
I guess one immediate question before that, what would you do about the serpent cults? Do you want to run them out, or do you want to try to get them to work for you for the greater good? Perhaps unionized under Duncan's guidance.
I mean, that seems way cooler. Yeah. I mean, they have a sense of humor. They're not too far gone.
Yeah, I think as long as they're open to it, and anyone who's not can just go.
Sure.
Like, They're free to go.
Whatever conflict came between us is ancient
Yep.
history.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
sure
it's not that ancient.
I'm sure they'll have some demands, and Duncan will work together with them to see what the reasonable requests they might have.
Great.
Yeah.
Union Rep Duncan.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
they still want to be able to
Sounds good.
practice their religion. They just agree not to like kill anybody in the name of it. You know?
Yeah, we'll set up a little like serpent cult chapel for them. It's
Yeah, I don't say why not. If
They
they
can
didn't
do
have a
that.
website already, that feels like mistreatment.
yeah, exactly. They should have a place where they feel welcome and at home.
Like they can practice being emo or whatever and a
Yeah.
snake about it.
That's fair. But yeah, so as long as that stuff is addressed, then yeah, you're both on the. Well, Alis is on the roof, kind of looking out over the mountains, taking in the victory, back in your normal form when Bella walks out.
Oh, hey Bella. Good.
So
Come sit.
that was okay, right? The thing,
What?
the
Oh,
like smooching.
ah,
I should have asked first, but
no, I and like Alis will stand up. I think I was probably giving you signs that that was okay. I mean, it was okay. It was it was really okay, actually.
oh yeah,
I mean,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Thank you.
cool.
No, I really, it really,
Hey,
thank you for supporting me. And
I like wanted to do it for a long time, you know? You're really hard on yourself sometimes. You call yourself stupid or silly or foolish, and you think your ideas don't have merit. And she'll put a hand on your shoulder very softly. You saved the world. No one else
well,
could have done that.
hey,
I helped, but only a little. That was you.
and like Alis will put her hand on your like upper arm or maybe waist. Uh, no, we saved the world ever since this whole adventure started. Ever since any of this, it was. I mean, I don't really know why you were there in the beginning, but I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have gone looking for Hilda without you. I wouldn't have done any of this without you. So it's not fair for you to say that I saved the world and you just helped a little. You helped a lot. I mean,
See, you are so smart. Oh my gosh.
I thank you though. I'm happy. And
Yeah.
if
too.
you want to
Pretty nice
stick
view up here,
around,
hey?
yeah. Do
Oh, you can't get rid of me that easily. She's gonna go. She's gonna do a dramatic laugh. Stuck with me, unless you don't want to be stuck with me, of course.
no, I do. I do. Um, I'm really bad at the, can I just kiss you again this time when we're not in the middle of a fight?
Oh, yeah, right.
And as soon as she said yeah, like she'll lean in and kiss her.
Just cuts her off partway through mumbling.
There's the sort of, I feel
Aw.
like there's this cinematic. I mean, they're on the rooftop and yeah,
Absolutely.
Carving a giant skull into a heart.
There's the
Someone,
camera,
underneath.
like you see, like they're kissing, and then like you can see fireworks in the background as the people of the various villages are celebrating that the empty is gone and color has returned to their lives, and you know there's Ewoks dancing. It's that kind of a.
Aw.
You see the
Smooch burger is finally real, Andrew.
Yeah.
you see the hag sitting on the beach, looking out as the water turns blue again. Saying, "Who would have thunk it?"
It's got a pina colada. When I think there would be, you know, that sort of montage or whatever, and when it comes back, they pull away, and Alis will reach for Bella's hand and say, "It's good now, and maybe we're not alone in wanting things to be this way for everyone. So I guess we've just started, huh?"
I guess it's not that there won't be more problems.
But there will be more allies too.
That's true. Sometimes surprising when she'll elbow you a little.
Well, most of my allies have been surprising so far, but I don't really pick up on things, so maybe I'm just set up to be surprised. Pleasant surprises are good.
Huh.
I like them.
That checks out. I'm not surprised. You're like a human magnet. You know what a magnet is, right?
I do know what a magnet is.
Okay, good.
Magnets, how do they work?
And they're kind
Even
of
Bella
chatting
doesn't know how they work. It's all true.
as the camera pans out. They're
Yeah.
chatting and holding hands and looking out at the fireworks.
Yeah.
And dorks.
So gay little chat accomplished. What other?
Yay.
What other? So we have enlarge the moat, unchain the ogre and rehabilitate him, keep the piranhas portal to the city, repaint the skull, gay little chat, unionize the serpent people.
I think chat was a fan of that interaction, although I can't remember who it was, but there was someone who was really, really shipping them really hard for a few episodes there, and I don't think they're in chat today. So if you catch this on VOD, my friend, congratulations, it happened.
You win. Yeah.
We've unionized the Serpentine workers, made sure all of the neutral creatures being used for an evil purpose have a moderately sized enclosure.
Sure. Yep. Appropriate.
Sounds good.
Housing. Is there anything else that you want to turn your attention to before the next session? What sort of do you want to try to? What sort of relationship? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all right. I got way more on the list.
Oh, by all means,
bullet points.
Let's hear it.
We clearly got to cover that hole with something. We shouldn't just have a bottomless pit to like a zone of heartlessness in the middle of like the cool hard castle we're building on the mountain. So let's like put a grate over that thing.
Yeah,
like put a little bell on it if the grate moves. Like at least a little bit of basic security on the giant hole to the worst sort of stuff ever.
We can install like a water feature.
Oh yeah.
Just like, a little inset like a pool right over the hole, a little lip, and then we'll put a little fountain in.
It's like a backwards well. We're plugging the hole with a well.
I think that's good. Oh gosh, there's something else. Well, obviously we'd have to go make sure Hilda's okay.
Sure, follow up with Hilda.
If she wanted to come retire in the Heart Castle. I bet that's the name of the castle now. She
Castle
could.
Heart Skull.
But no pressure. I think maybe there's a potential conversation there of that, if Kay and I get to play together again at some point, we might maybe play it out. But like because I don't know what we're doing coming forward from here, but there would probably be some sort of conversation of like so I'm taking the mantle, I guess. You should relax and enjoy your retirement, kind of.
Right. You retired for a purpose. Stay that way. Yeah.
So that this is sort of that's something that Alis would want to see done. I'm gonna go back and forth. Did you have something, Bunny?
Sure, yeah. I think figuring out some sort of path forward or accountability for her mother is on the list. And that's actually connected to another one. Which is that it kind of sucks that people that do bad stuff live in a hole forever. That doesn't seem super great or just long term.
Yeah.
So wanting to figure out some kind of a pathway there that's more interesting than lives in a hole forever for people who screw up.
Yeah, Alis was gonna want to try to help her sister out somehow.
So we're looking like reforming the
Yeah, I mean at least to have a justice system that's not just put them in a hole.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't feel super ideal. It's not even like to put them in the hole because they're dead. It's just put them in a hole and just like it's an oubliette, but we're still feeding them, I guess.
Yeah, we weren't a big fan of that. So maybe a new reformation sort of rehabilitation instead of our taxpayer money just going to punishing them for the rest
To
of their lives.
digging holes, to using the definition given by Hoggle in the Labyrinth of Nubliet. It's the place where they put you to forget about you. Yeah. All right. Cool. Reforming the justice system. What else we got?
Just normal things.
Just normal
Unionizing
thing.
the serpent and reforming the justice system.
Hey,
I don't know, man. We saved the world. I think we can say like maybe we should make jail better, and also we support unions.
So there'll be a bit of maybe the next arc will kind of deal with some of these goals and achieving them, and some of the uphill battles and that you'll have to fight the war of ideas, right? You'll have to talk Mustachio into thinking it's a good idea to let super magically powerful people out of their holes in the hopes that they might get better.
Well,
At least let
look,
them have visitors, have bigger
it's not-
holes.
it's not necessarily the nicest thing, but there's got to be some kind of invention that takes away people's magic until they're proven they can use it.
I mean, that's something that you could work toward too. Well, those will all be interesting grounds.
Or they can only use good magic. It's a magic risk cup that only lets you help people.
Aw.
I don't know.
That's
We
pretty
are in a
cute,
fantasy
actually.
world already, right? Like it's
It's possible. It's possible. These are all
I
things.
mean, and that can also turn into some interesting stuff where like who gets to decide what magic is helpful and what magic isn't. That's a good
yeah.
that's a good like middle manager villain.
Creating
love that.
problems.
Yeah,
We're creating
Creating
future problems
problems.
for ourselves. That's ideal, isn't it?
I love it. So yeah, I think, and again, I mean, we'll cover a lot of ground and whatnot, but I'm definitely thinking the next arc will have at least something to do with dealing with that bureaucracy of the Mage Council, and like rather than so you've in this stage you've like purged the truly evil factions of the Mage Council. Now you have to deal with like the greater evil of bureaucracies and people with agendas and things like that. So I think that'll be interesting.
It'll be A-list just being like, why can't I punch any of it?
You
How
can't
am I
punch
supposed to fix
bureaucracy.
this? I can't even use the sword.
I mean, you can. That is a negotiation tactic that you could use.
I am good aligned. Oh, so funny. Oh, I love
Too
it.
lawful in your goodness.
Yeah.
Anything else you got on your bullet point list, Bunny?
I mean, the decoration was a big one. I think like making the interior of this villain layer kind of more welcoming. Like have a nice dining room. You don't need like a giant 500 feet wide open space to loom ominously over. That's not full of tables and snacks and things to enjoy. Like you may
Yeah.
as well have fun in that space. So
Just bright, sparkly, gorgeous, and then like also piranhas and
yeah, I mean like a little bit of villainy vibes in there. Like not just gem colors. You got to get some golds and greens in there.
Sure.
which I guess
oh,
are gem
lots of
colors,
golds,
don't-
lots of golds. I'm imagining, the
Yeah.
golds, because gold goes great with jewel tones anyway. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we should host a party.
And a welcome, a housewarming party. That might be a good start for the next arc.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking so too.
I like it.
One thing that I
Who's
would
gonna
point
crush
out
it?
is that you might want to either disable or modify the traps that lead to those various
Yeah.
creatures, because a lot of those are in the throne room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
we do that. I think definitely there's, before we have any sort of party, there's a sweep, like a really thorough sweep of like getting the evil stuff out and making sure we found all the traps and
We're like
walling
in
them up.
maid outfits, like we're dusting, but we're disarming. traps.
I mean, that could be a
Everything's
whole
clean and tidy and safe.
that could be a whole episode on its own.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, all right. Disable and modify traps. Any other business for planning then?
I think that's mostly it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Yeah,
mean,
I think so
everybody,
too.
the biggest thing was making sure everyone was okay because by removing the empty. So
yeah, yeah, which was a major victory for y'all. So, in that note, I'm going to go ahead and hand out your experience and whatnot,
woo.
and we can redefine our aspirations. That I think that will help us sort of
Woo.
between that and the bullet points we have. I think that'll help us decide which way we're going in the future and help us shape the next arc, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
All right, rock and roll.
This has been so much fun. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you. I've had a blast with it, and I'm looking forward to the next bit. This is super fun. I am overcome with joy. This could not have gone better any way that I could imagine it. It was amazing. And thank you so much for being part of it. All right. So you all both attended, so you both get a point. Congratulations.
Yay.
Woo.
Short-term aspirations. Bella, you did confess your feelings. You may take a point. Did you make a dramatic pose while you were at the castle?
Not really. No, I mean, I did like blarp onto my face a couple times, but I don't know that entirely
I
counts
mean,
in the same way.
I will allow it in the sense that the kiss on the rooftop was a dramatic pose.
That's pretty dramatic.
That was high drama. So you can have 2 points for your short terms. How about for your long term? Has Bella resolved her internal conflict and proven that she
I
is
think
enough?
a little bit, yeah. I mean, it was initially like this is the starting one, right? So I
Yeah.
sort of had a lot of detail in it, like a total doofus. So I had like admit she doesn't want to betray them, resolve her like internal conflict regarding her mother, and prove to herself that she is enough. And that's like 3, but I think she might have pulled it off.
Yeah, I think so. I think all of that happened. So that would be your long. So you can take. So weird. You can take 2 points for the 2 shorts, and 2 points for your long.
Woo.
And then for shorts for Alis, you used Hilder's sword properly. Congratulations.
And discovered my destiny.
I would say you did discover your destiny, so that's 2 for you for that. That also means that you both get an additional one because everybody got all their short terms.
Yay.
All right, and so for your long, stop the empty. Empty stopped.
Yes.
Congratulations. So that's your long, so that's another 2 points for your long.
Yay. Thank you.
I would say that you have completed a group story, so that is 1 point as well.
Yay.
So
That took me way too long
Nice,
to
nice,
take that on
nice.
board. I was like, ooh, points.
so unless my math is off, that should be what? What'd you end up with, Bunny?
I think 5.
It would be, I think 7, because I had 3 prior, and then
Yeah, you get 2 from the long term.
2 from the long term, 2 from the short term, 1 because we both completed our short term, and
then 1 for showing up, 1 for completing the group story.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
I didn't include those at all.
So yep, should be 7 each.
Awesome.
All right, so
Back up to 10.
Yeah, me too.
rock and roll.
Woo.
You can certainly consider those getting another path if you like, or hanging on to it. Up to you. So as we are getting ready to dive into our next arc, to help define what we're going to do, what would you like to set for your new short and long term aspirations? These will help define our story. So what do you think? Do you have ideas, Either of you want to go first?
I can't decide if I want it to be a short or a long term, but I definitely want something right now along the lines of like rebuild my relationship with Elira.
That sounds long-termy.
Yeah.
that does sound like
Yeah.
something that'll be hard to do in a single session.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put that as my long term right now.
All right.
And
I think while it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, it's okay. I was just gonna say I think I've made that vague enough that if it doesn't turn out entirely positive, I can still like I'm gonna say try to rebuild relationship with Alita.
Sure. Or maybe even like change. That means it might get better, might get
not change
worse.
for the good, yeah.
But get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
a place that
Relationship
it's
with
not
Alita.
at right now, right?
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
And Bella, you had something?
Funny.
I mean, I feel like it's connected to like trying to support her, somewhat more villainous mom through a whole path of reformation. Do like find a better path for justice than the current one. I
Would
think
that
it's a
be
pretty good
like a
long term aspiration for trying to make it so that villains who are a little bit more villainous than she is, not that she really counts as a villain at this point, don't just live in a hole forever. Because those
Okay.
are, smart, powerful, creative people with a flair for the dramatic. They can like do all sorts of cool stuff.
So I'm gonna just note this down as improved justice system.
Yeah.
Sweet, I like it. Do you have any shorts in mind for Bella?
There should be some kind of a gay one in there.
There should be some kind of a gay one in there. Is
I mean, after you confess your feelings and smooch about it, like, what do you do next? I don't even
right.
know. I think like have a really nice date. Like,
Oh yeah, because they had like sort of
yeah,
a not date before they acknowledged their feelings for each other. They could have a real
yeah,
one.
the smooch burger.
A
Yeah.
a nice date is an absolutely good short-term aspiration. And that gives me an idea of how to start the next game. What about for your second short-term aspiration? I can come back to you as well if you want.
Yeah, maybe come back to me. I'll keep thinking on it.
All right. So, Aylis, do you have any short-term aspirations? I will
Yes.
absolutely let you take a nice date as one of your shorts if you want to.
Yeah, I think I'll kind of I will take that and add something different to it to kind of add to that in that it'll be something along the lines of like spend some time just us. In this sort of like they suddenly are going to have all of these responsibilities as they've saved the world and are establishing sort of themselves as a power effectively. So it'll be sort of like just have some time, just the two of them. So time just us with Bella. And that leads me to my other short term, which sounds like a long term, but I think the action of it is a short term and the enacting of it takes longer. In that, I think, and this is more CJ wording rather than A-list. A-list wouldn't necessarily see it this way,
Okay.
but establishing this new group or partnership of heroes as a group that as a group of people who can help but also get to make some calls and make some decisions, so kind of establishing their presence as the group of heroes.
Okay, so establishing the heroes as an influential body.
Yeah, or at least a recognized body.
Okay, cool. And I'm assuming that at the moment that counts. That means you, Bella, Duncan, and perhaps Bella's mom. If
Yeah, and like on a more retired basis, Hilda,
right,
she's a what's the word, a freelancer.
if she ever comes out of her
She
coma,
can certainly train people.
And she's
yeah,
still in a coma.
she's still in a coma. Yeah, I mean, and Duncan could always, be your man at arms. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. And I think that's basically, and I think it's sort of like, it's this sort of hey, we are a force for good. And so if you also want to act as a force for good, you can be a part of this with us. Like, we're not exclusive or anything like that. And that would be sort of the way I think A-list is approaching it, more of like, well, we're here. We're trying to do good, and it takes a lot of people to do good. So come join us or liaise with us or something. Is kind of the more
I like it.
A-list vibe of this. This is the Dragon Age Inquisition moment.
I dig it. I think that's cool. That sounds good and sounds workable. How about then for Bella? Do you have a final short term?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking back to like old school aspirations and how she sort of went into this. I think she wants to do a little bit more bookworming activities. I think she wants to find something new and magical.
Okay, excellent. Discover new magical.
Do a little bit of magical research, ponder an orb or two, you know?
Okay, cool. All right, so we have our aspirations set up. Do you know, either of you know off the top of your head, like what you want to spend your XP on? We can absolutely do that before we wrap things up, or we can button things up and handle it at the beginning of the next session. It's up to you.
I think I'll wait because I want to kind of let it settle in and decide what I want
Yeah,
to do with it.
same.
Okay.
I might take a second dot of Sage, which is my archetype.
Nice. Yeah.
But well, we'll see. I mean, I feel like she's learned quite a bit, but it's not a thing that should happen now or as she steps more into that role.
Right, right. Of course. Cool. Well, I would like to congratulate you on completing your first story arc of That Came from the Cyclops' Cave. I hope you had half as much fun playing as I had running it. I'd be, I don't have enough words to explain to you how good of a time this was for me. It was really super cool.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad to hear. And
thank you very much for running this, Travis.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for the ongoing adventures of the Warriors of Legend. We are going to have a cast discussion off camera about whether we'll be back in 2 weeks or whether we'll be back in a month. We have to figure out some scheduling stuff. But we will be back for the next story arc soon. And we may even expand the cast a little bit. We'll see. But in the meantime, if you are watching this at home and you have liked what you've seen, I cannot recommend it highly enough. Go pick up They Came from the Cyclops' Cave. It's up at Drive-Thru RPG right now in POD and PDF. I have a beautiful print-on-demand copy of it right here that I love and adore. It's one of my prized possessions. I also did pre-order the traditional print book over at BackerKit, which I think you still can do. So as soon as those get delivered, I'll have the shiny fancy one, but I will still use this good old tried and true POD one for my table use book because it is sturdy and high quality and good for it. Let's see. Other than that, I do want to remind you that we have, let's see, 5 days left in the Branch Riders Kickstarter for our buddies over at the Bodana Group. It is a really cool game. Highly recommend you head over there and check that out. And of course, I would like to take the opportunity to let you know that I have 12 days left in my Kickstarter over for the Bizarre Kingdoms for Odysseys and Overlords. That will be released through my company, Aegis Studios. It's an expansion for the Odysseys and Overlords setting, but it's compatible with Savage Worlds, so you can use it in any Savage Worlds fantasy setting if you want. You know, you can drop it in your Pathfinder, drop it in your Savage Rifts game. It's all compatible. It's all there. So definitely head over, check that out, and back those Kickstarters. That does it for us for today. I want to congratulate our heroes on bringing this to the most Saturday morning cartoon conclusion that I could imagine. It was, the vibes were perfect, and it warmed my heart to play through it. And though I did manage to avoid crying, I barely managed to avoid crying a couple of times while we were playing. So Good work. That is all credit to my awesome players. Let's start with CJ. Please tell us who you are, what you do, who you are playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote.
Hi everyone. I'm CJ Story. My pronouns are they, them. I've been playing Alice, whose pronouns are she, her. I have had a great time. I didn't know how much I needed a game that's just like really, especially playing such a ding dong like Alice, just really earnest and fun and straightforward and from the heart, and also lots of goofy jokes, but somehow we've still managed to make a story that like I really care about, and we haven't, so it's silly and you care about it, and that's just the most like Saturday morning cartoon thing I can think of. I love the sort of like resurgence into popular culture that we've had over the last 5, 8, 10 years of like, oh hey, remember those cartoons we all really loved as a kid? Let's do that again. Um, and I'd forgotten how much I loved them until I did start watching like the new She-Ra and the new Thundercats and things like that. And then having the opportunity to play this, I was like, oh yeah, that'll be great. That'll be good fun. I did not know how much I was gonna love it and how much like I needed something with this sort of vibe in my life. So I'm really excited. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for playing with me. This has been such great fun. And I don't really have anything to push at the moment, like I said. So I will just say keep an eye out on my social CJ Story, and thanks for having me here. Can't wait for the next time.
Thank you for being here. I am super excited for the next arc, and we will definitely keep an eye on what you've got cooking. And speaking of people you should keep an eye on, Millie, all of your pertinence, please.
No, just hang on. I got to sneeze. 1 second. I'm extremely on brand right now.
Bless you ahead of time.
Good morning. Hi. Every time I try to talk, my nose is like, get wrecked, nerd. Hi, I'm Bunny and or Millie, she and her, or they and them are both cool with me. I've been playing Belladonna Blightwood. I've discovered why I keep saying Blackwood, which is that I save my character sheet as Blackwood, and then on the character sheet it says Blightwood. So I feel like a total goober. But I figured it out finally. So I just renamed the character sheet just now.
Perhaps sometime in the next arc you'll find a mystical enemy from another dimension that is you, but is named Blackwood.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed every single session of this game. I really enjoyed playing with you and just like the whole cast. It was really, really nice. This game was so much fun. I feel really similar to CJ. Like I've really enjoyed the sort of resurgence of these kind of worlds and vibes and cartoons. And it's fun to get to play around a little bit in that world. Plus, also it's nice to play in a game that I already have an outfit for because I am a 90s anime bunny girl villain already. I didn't even get changed for this. This is just how I always look. It's kind of great.
It's true. Just come as you are.
Dramatic armor. I mean, I can wear different circlets if I want to, but like, you know, I'm extremely prepared for this one specific type of tabletop game, and that's it. Everything else I got to open Blender for.
Right, that's fair.
But yeah, I guess you can find me at different places like twitch.tv/bunnyhearted, or also bunnyhearted VT on various social media things. You can keep an eye out there for dorky bunny activities. I don't know. I don't like write tabletop gaming books yet. Maybe one day. So like,
say the word.
Do dorky things.
Say the word. We'll make it happen.
I do have one that I'm scheming, but I've never written one before, so we'll see.
Well, we should talk. We should talk. I would be happy to hear your ideas and hopefully help you out.
Scheme secretly.
Yeah, plots, schemes. That's as one does when they're inspired by the villainy of the 80s and 90s.
I mean, this is very specifically inspired by the villainy of the 80s. But I mean, what else would it be, you know?
That's fair. It's fair. All right. Yeah, on that bright, shiny note, I've been Travis. My pronouns are he, they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. This month, I'm doing a lot of streaming here, but I'm also doing a lot of streaming on various other places. I actually, speaking of like 80s cartoons, I just picked up this game called Myth Force. That I think it was a Prime freebie, but it's basically a first-person shooter, but co-op. But you're playing in a 80s cartoon. You're playing characters from an 80s cartoon, and it looks like the animation is really spot on for it. Not only for the cinematics, but for the actual gameplay. So I've been streaming a little bit of that over on my channel on Plastic Age Plays, just to try to get people to pay attention so that I can, promote Bizarre Kingdoms, because I want everybody to go back it. If you don't find me here, you find me over at Plastic Age Plays. Other than that, just please check out all the various things we've been plugging all stream. We really appreciate you being here. If you haven't yet done so, give us a follow. Keep an eye on the schedule for when Warriors of Legend returns. Like I said, should be 2 weeks a month, maybe 6 weeks at the most, but we will be back for the next arc. And hang out. I'm going to go ahead and rate us over to Dyson Logos. I think he's probably making some maps, and they're probably going to be awesome. So thank you so much for being here. Much love. Take care of yourselves and each other. Wash your hands, get your shots, all that good stuff, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.